In this video, we will look into the details of setting up and running a modal analysis using Hypermesh and OptiStruct. Modal analysis is the first step in the dynamic testing of any component using CAE. Let's get right to the point. Why do we perform a modal analysis? This type of analysis is performed to calculate the natural frequencies of vibration or modes of vibration of any given component to avoid resonance condition during dynamic operation. Let's take a look into the actual process of setting up a modal analysis using Hypermesh. We will run our analysis on this bracket. Let's start by creating a 3D tetramesh. This can be done using the Volume Tetra tab in Tetramesh panel. Select the solid to be meshed. Now set the 2D type as R trias. With element size as 4, create the mesh in the current component. Now create a new material for our bracket. We will assign the mechanical properties of steel. Enter the values of Young's modulus, Poisson's ratio, and density in the respective fields. Now create a new property. Change the card image to P-solid as we are using 3D solid elements. Set the steel material in the material selection box. Now assign this property to our original component. The material gets assigned automatically. We will create a new component to create RBE2 rigid elements to properly define the constraint locations. In the Rigids tab from 1D panel, set dependent nodes to multiple nodes and independent node on calculate node. Select all the degrees of freedom. With the bigeometry selection criteria, we will select all the nodes on these surface edges as the dependent nodes. A rigid element is now created and a master node is automatically positioned. We will be constraining this master node in the next step. Similarly, we will create RBE2 elements at all other constraint locations. Create a new load collector for single point constraints. Open the Constraints tab from Analysis panel. Select the master nodes to specify the SPC locations. With all 6 degrees of freedom checked, create the constraints. Now we will use real eigenvalue extraction method by using the EIGRL card in Hypermesh. There are 3 main settings to be specified: the start value of the frequency range, the last value of the frequency range, and the number of modes of vibration or roots to be calculated. We can specify our operating range by giving proper values for V1 and V2. If we do not enter the values for V1 and V2, the analysis will run over the entire frequency spectrum to find out the natural frequencies. Now we will create the frequency load in a separate load collector. Set the card image to EIGRL. V1 and V2 represent the start and end of frequency range respectively. As we want to run our simulation over the whole spectrum, we will leave these fields blank. ND represents the number of roots to be found. We will set this at 10. Create a load step to combine the modal analysis load collectors. With analysis type as normal modes, assign the SPC load collector in proper selection box. In the method structural option, select the EIGRL load collector. Now scroll down and check the box next to output. Now select displacement and elemental strain energy or ESE options to generate these results for post-processing. Our setup is now ready for run. Let's save our model in a new folder. Remember to use underscore in place of space while specifying any file or folder names. Using spaces in file name may result in issues when we run the simulation. Open the OptiStruct tab from Analysis panel. Set export options to all, run options to analysis, and memory options to default. Click OptiStruct to launch the solver and run our simulation. As the analysis is now completed, we can view the results. Let's check the .out file, which contains all the details related to our analysis. This table is the crux of all the simulation results. The frequency column represents the 10 natural frequencies of vibration over the entire spectrum. Now let's take a look at the visual representation. In the Contours panel, click on Apply. The Eigenmode results show the deformation pattern for our model at particular natural frequency. The actual frequency value is shown in the brackets next to mode numbers. By switching the modes, we can view deformation patterns for respective frequencies. Now switch to elemental strain energy and set averaging method to simple. These are the areas where reinforcement needs to be done to avoid failure of structure during vibration at particular frequency. Now that we have completed our analysis and looked at the results, the real question arises: how do we interpret these results? It is very important to remember that the deformation patterns that we are observing are not the actual deformations. They are relative deformations to that specific component. If we want to calculate actual deformations, the values of actual deformations, we need to perform a structural analysis on the same component. The results of modal analysis cannot be used to calculate deformations. The elemental strain energy plots show the locations at which there is maximum strain at that particular frequency. When we look into the actual results, the mode represents the frequency and the elemental strain represents the strain at particular locations on the component at that frequency. Therefore, if our component is operating at a particular frequency, we need to observe the ESE pattern and then make further reinforcements at the locations where maximum strain energy is observed. This will prevent the failure of component in vibration during dynamic operation. And this is how we can easily perform modal analysis using the EIGRL card in Hypermesh and OptiStruct. If you like this video, please hit the red subscribe button and give a big thumbs up. It helps a lot. Also, follow me on Instagram @aeroswap. Don't forget to watch my other videos to learn how to set up and run simulations using Hypermesh.